Hello and welcome to the Kenneth Vercammen Law Office Legal Podcast. This edition we look at trying to defend a DWI case where there's blood drawn. There's been some recent cases by the New Jersey Supreme Court and the United States Supreme Court that deals with this issue. So some of the things that the defense attorney should request in discovery. Well, number one, the operator's manual for all instruments used to test the substances. That's under State versus Green. Don't just assume that the substances are tested properly. We found out that there was a lab in North Jersey where one of the chemists was just making up phony results. Other things, training manuals for any of the tests given to the subjects under suspicion for DWI, including manuals, lessons plans, tests, texts, and articles kept by the police. Many departments rely upon the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration manual, so the request is in discovery to be provided with those. Don't just rely upon the prosecutor saying, well, we don't do it, but make them put that in writing. Now, there's other issues on what's called informed consent. The United States Supreme Court indicates that although the police can take breath samples without a warrant, typically they would need a blood test. That was the case in 2016. Therefore, the defense counsel should say, well, where's copies of the search warrant obtained by a judge? If that's not obtained, then there should be a motion to object to the lab report. Some of the police departments ask that the person consent to the blood, but we typically argue that, well, how can someone really consent to the giving of blood if they're under the influence, they're not being advised they have a right to object to this. Other documents that we can ask for, whether or not the actual machine was tested within, let's say, 20 days before. Don't just rely upon someone saying, yeah, everything was done right, everything was done right. So defense attorneys should have a detailed request on things. And many of the things I usually say to the prosecutor, I don't know what they mean, but my expert knows what they mean. For example, each and every analysis of the blood, including the color tests, gas chromatograph results, the printouts, the mass spectrometer printouts, and printouts from any other device. Ask for the chemist notes. Ask for the service records for the machine. Ask for the calibration curves. Ask for the quality control manual. Ask for the testing procedures. And object to the chain of custody. And see, you can't win lotto unless you buy a ticket, and you can't win a DWI if you just walk in and plead guilty. So there's more information on areas to request and discovery and objections in a DWI case, and those are on website njlaws.com and website benotguilty.com. That's benotguilty.com. And for representation, go to the Law Office of Kenneth Vercammen and call 732-572-0500. Thank you.